Hello, friends. Welcome to another Tuesday and another wonderful, fun-filled episode of Timeshare Tuesday Recap Live, where we cover the most interesting topics in the timesharing industry that all owners, renters, interested parties need to know about timesharing. This is the four most interesting items that we put in the newsletter over the past week. Make sure if you do not currently get the newsletter, it's currently free. It's actually always free for that matter. So be sure to click the link down in the comments section below. I'll put it in there so you can sign up and get it every single Saturday. Good evening, Jeremy. Thank you so much for tuning in. Appreciate you joining me here on a Tuesday where we cover the four topics that we're going to discuss. We currently have a giveaway going on right now. We have been slacking for the past month or so. I think I did a Christmas one, but haven't done one all year. It's now already February, so we are going to do a January/February giveaway. Again, links to all of the topics we're going to discuss are down in the description below. Be sure to subscribe to either our YouTube channel, which you should be watching right now, or go to the Facebook page, like or comment the Facebook post there, and you have two separate entries to win. I'm giving away 10 separate free Tug memberships, completely random. Don't have to be a member. If you're a member, it'll just renew your membership for a year, but just my way of giving back to the people that support Tug on social media and YouTube. Really have come a long way. 32,000 some odd members on the Facebook page. We've reached 5,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel. So I'm super excited to give these memberships away. Everyone who supports us on social media, reposting, liking, subscribing, sharing our videos, sharing our subjects, sharing our advice articles, sharing topics in the newsletter. All of that gets other owners to find Tug, makes Tug a better place for everyone. So hi, Dan. Cool Belize. You're joining us from Belize again. Fantastic. Got a couple of our first-time callers, long-time listeners on. Always appreciate those of you who take time out of your wonderful, busy, super exciting Tuesday evening, even though there's probably not a whole lot else on right now. So maybe I'm the most interesting thing that you can watch on a Tuesday night, especially if you're a timeshare owner. So with that said, getting back into item number one, which is the giveaway. It is still going on right now. I'll probably pick a winner over the next week or so. Pick 10 winners actually over the next week or so. I pick them all at random based on the Facebook posts. I use a random number generator and to select that. So there's no favoritism. Doesn't matter which type. Doesn't go off the creativity of the comments or how soon you like it or how soon you commented. Everything is completely random. Each and every person has the exact same chance to win. Same with the YouTube subscribers. So I pick those numbers from random. So I'll probably pick 5 from each side. So 5 Facebook post commenters, 5 YouTube subscribers. Again, just my way of giving back to those who support Tug on social media. Truly is the best way and the most efficient way that people find Tug on the internet these days is by some other owner, sharing an information that they found on Tug. That person then finds Tug and says the same thing that, oh man, I wish I would have found Tug sooner before I bought my first timeshare. So I said the link to the giveaway is down in the comment section below. Still got plenty of time to enter and win. So like the Facebook page, post on there, comment on it, as well as subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're not already a subscriber, everyone who's already subscribed to our channel, don't worry. You're automatically entered to win. That's the best part about subscribing to our YouTube channel is every giveaway I provide on the YouTube channel, every single subscriber has the exact same chance to win. So you're automatically subscribed. But if you're not subscribed, go ahead and do so today. Helps us build our channel, helps us spread the word of Tug across the internet. And you get who knows? You get free memberships. I give away these things like candy. I'm almost once a month or at least every other month I'm making giveaways, especially on holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, stuff like that. So truly the best way you can give back to Tug is to share Tug on social media and like and subscribe on our Facebook and YouTube channels. Jim, thanks for joining us. Appreciate you tuning in. Got a wonderful, great selection of people on right now. Thank you so much for tuning in. So we will go on to topic number 2, which is, if I can click it correctly, here we go. There was a new article that came out. Here we go. Can you ever see that? And I clicked it and it went away. And this is just, hang on. Let me go back to where we were here. So share. Here we go. Back on the screen at New Talk for Money Talks News. Stacy Johnson, I believe, was the name of it. He is a reporter that we have dealt with. Yes, Stacy Johnson. We have interviewed with him in the past, participated on a few of the articles he's had in the past, and this one was absolutely fantastic. While unfortunately it is a kind of a negative topic, as most timeshare articles are, I will say that this particular article that he did was jam-packed with information that I feel benefits any timeshare owner that reads it, or even someone who is considering buying a timeshare. First and foremost, it mentions Tug. So, I mean, you got to give people credit for that. Just a mainstream media outlet putting a link to Tug on their page in their article means a good number of people are going to click on it and visit the Tug website, and who can complain about that? I will say, going through the article, it fact filled. He did his research, knows what he's talking about, doesn't have many of the gaps, or doesn't come off as someone who doesn't know the subject matter. He either typed it into AI or something like that. So it truly was a well thought out, well written article that, again, I believe any owner that reads it is going to come off better for that. At least, some glaring warning signs that we have in this industry, and the message that I feel is beneficial for anyone who reads it. But mentions eBay, mentions the resale market, which is huge. Most articles just completely gloss over the resale market, not so much for trying to convince someone to go buy there, but at least discussing the staggering depreciation that exists in the timeshare industry, where people paying full price for a timeshare, not realizing that, one, they could buy that thing for free on Tug or eBay or any number of outlets that are out there. But the fact that if you did buy it right then and there from the resort, paying full retail, it depreciates almost 100% right then and there. Yeah, there are certain exceptions to that rule, but by and large, people, the average timeshare owner, 9 out of 10, are buying an average timeshare, and as such are going to suffer that staggering 90, 95%, if not 100% depreciation the moment you buy that. So when you see something like this in an article, at least it'll give someone pause. Say, hey, maybe I'll go look at eBay. Hey, maybe I'll go look at the Tug free giveaway section and see how many of those timeshares truly are offered completely free. And if it doesn't convince them to buy one of those on the resale market, it at least will convince them not to pay full price at a sales presentation, because they know, hey, why would I pay $20,000 for this if you're saying it's just going to be worthless the moment I buy it? So, hey, Billy, thanks for tuning in. Awesome. More and more people tuning in here. Started on time this time, 10 o'clock p.m. Tuesday. So glad to see each and every one of you that tune in and share about an hour of your time or 30 minutes of your time to listen to me jabber on about timeshares and the most interesting topics over the past week. So, going back to this one, again, it talked about the resale side. It talked about, people don't want to be locked into fixed and floating weeks, which have pretty much gone the way of the dodo in the timeshare industry. Now we're looking at just about everything as points these days, unless you're picking up some resale stuff. But the underlying theme is essentially it's a bad financial decision. It is not paying full price for a timeshare at a sales presentation is in almost all situations a terrible idea. Tug has been preaching that mantra for 32 plus years now, but it is always nice to see a mainstream media article. Let me get past this ad real quick if I can. There we go. Mainstream media article discussing this and hitting the highlights. Obviously, if someone were to write a comprehensive article, it's not something that it would, TLDR. It'd be too long, and it would just kind of, people's eyes would glaze over when you try to cover that much. So hitting the key high points, especially the most important part, and getting people to understand the depreciation and the financials in it, where paying full price just doesn't make financial sense for the vast majority of people who might be interested in buying timeshares in the first place. But beware the exit team. Huge kudos for knocking this out. I've just seen so many articles that have come out that have actually maybe not outright touted exit companies as an effective way to get out of your timeshare, but it mentioned it as something to look into. And then the problem with doing that is it gives legitimacy to something that is not legitimate. Even mentioning it as an option means, well, hey, if they're mentioning it, if Forbes is mentioning it, I should, if AARP is running a full page ad for this exit company, it's probably something I can be trustworthy and use. They certainly wouldn't, promote something that's not in my best interest. So, explaining what a timeshare exit company does is fantastic in an article like this, because existing owners are going to read this and have likely already been engaged by or have reached out to an exit company to at least explore getting rid of their timeshare. And again, learning that the vast majority of these exit companies, all of these exit companies, provide the guaranteed solution to get out is to default on your timeshare, which you can do yourself. Do not pay for that sort of service. The only real way out, again, covers the main options. The deed back surrender programs. Again, mentioning this is just huge. You just don't see that in many mainstream articles. Is it going to be successful? Not in all cases, absolutely not. But I can't tell you how many posts I see on Facebook, how many emails I get, how many phone calls we get, how many just outright questions of people that have no idea what to do when it's time to get rid of their timeshare. And I always ask first, hey, did you reach out to your resort? Hey, did you ask to see if there's a surrender program? I don't even know what they own yet at this point, so I can't point them to a direction. But the answer is almost, the overwhelming majority, no, I haven't done that yet. I kind of put it off, and now my maintenance fees are due. This always ramps up in January and February when all the maintenance fee statements come in, and people look to get rid of their timeshare. Unfortunately, they want to do it before they have to pay the fees, but waiting this long just doesn't lend itself as that being a viable option. But again, getting this information out in front of people in a mainstream media article is going to raise more eyebrows, and at least it's going to plant that seed in someone who might be searching or use the next year to search for their options to get out of their timeshare. And hey, let me contact Wyndham. Let me contact Hilton. Let me contact Marriott. Let me see what my options are. They may not be palatable options, and you might even be told flat out no. But you should always ask, because it costs nothing to ask the question. And if you are one of the lucky ones that they'll be absolutely, we can take it back. Here's our program. Here's the information. Fill it out. It's the answer to your prayers. It's exactly what you want it to happen. So whether you follow through, or excuse me, whether you take them up on their offer or not, at least reaching out to ask the question so that you can have all of your options in front of you when you make that educated and informed decision is in your best interest. So we always suggest the first step in anyone looking to get rid of a timeshare is to reach out or do some research on your resort specifically to see if they have an option that you can surrender it back if you don't want it anymore. Kudos to Stacy for mentioning this in there. And then coming at the end, the $0 sale, offering it up for the resort has said no. We don't have a deed back. You don't have any options to give it back. So that leaves you with, the other option is trying to give it away, finding someone legitimate to take it off your hands. And that means offering it up for free. If the resort itself isn't willing to take it back, that is the number one sign that your timeshare has no resale value, that you are not going to get any money for it. In fact, you're probably going to have to pay this year's maintenance fees and closing costs to make it attractive enough to even have someone interested in taking it off your hands. But hey, this article covered it. List Redweek, List Tug, both legitimate outlets that you can go offer your timeshare for sale or offer it for giveaway. On Tug, we offer that service for free if you're looking to give away your timeshare. Just another way that we give back to the owner community. People are desperate to get out of their timeshares, and we will always provide a place that you can go and list your timeshare for free if you're trying to give it away. But hey, mentioning this again, most articles don't cover this. The twofold, you get the, hey, I'm looking to get rid of my timeshare. This is a solution to offer it up for free. And on the other hand, I was thinking about buying a timeshare, but man, if these people can't give them away, maybe I should have second thoughts. And that's not necessarily a bad deal, because in many cases, learning the truth about timeshares as you discover that timesharing is not for you. So that is not necessarily a bad thing. It doesn't work out for everyone. There's no sense in buying something, even though it sounds amazing and it looks great on paper, if it's not in your financial best interest. And how do you know if it's in your financial best interest? You do your research. And the best place to do that is go to the Tug website. Mentions refusal for heirs. If you happen to quote unquote inherit a timeshare, meaning your parents had one and they passed and you have no idea what to do with it. Again, the fact that it's mentioned in here just puts it light years above most of the other articles that are out there. I'll just say it right now. No one can be forced to inherit a timeshare, period. I don't care what anybody tells you. I don't care what any company is out there touting or citing or what a law is. Absolutely not. No one on the planet, no one in the United States. It might be in other countries that this happens, but in the United States, you cannot be forced to inherit a timeshare. Now, that's not to say that the timeshare is somehow wiped clean upon the death of your parents. It could technically be the responsibility of the estate, and it probably will in most cases, but it's never going to become your debt. So do not feel that you are automatically become the owner of a timeshare just because your parents owned it and they passed away and you just don't know what to do. Most people will just continue to pay the maintenance fees as part of the estate, because the bills come. The timeshare has no idea your parents are passed. They're going to keep charging you for it. So with that said, super, super important that you understand you are not the owner unless you're already on the deed, but that's neither here nor there. If your parents passed on and you didn't know on a timeshare, first step, again, reach out and inform them of your parents passing. You don't want it. You don't want to take it over. Your parents have passed. Ask them what they could do to surrender it back. Again, always ask. Let the resort offer a solution for you to surrender that back. Just like, and if it's your timeshare and you're trying to get rid of it, at least reach out to them. See if they'll do the right thing. Again, it's not a guaranteed chance of success, but even a small chance, if it happens to work out for you, answers all your prayers, the easiest, quickest, and usually cheapest in most cases way to get rid of a timeshare. So again, kudos to Stacey Johnson. Kudos to Money Talks for producing this article. We hope each and every timeshare owner, we would love for each and every timeshare owner on the planet to read this. But all those that do are certainly going to find themselves far more enriched with pertinent information that they need to know when the time comes. And each and every timeshare owner at some point has a time when they are going to get rid of their timeshare. It just happens for every single owner out there. And so this article is a great primer on anyone who's starting to look into that so that they can do their research and not make a very, very expensive mistake in trying to get out of a timeshare that so many timeshare owners out there do, unfortunately, in this day and age. Going on to option number 3. Share this tab instead. A Westin Resort Spa in Cancun is sold and is now going to be converted to all-inclusive. This is kind of, good news, bad news. This only a small portion of this resort was actually a timeshare, but many owners in the Westin Aventuras program used this very, very popular resort. And it does appear that at least a huge chunk, I know that I think there were only 40 total villas that were offered in the timeshare side versus the hotel side. I believe those got cut in half based on what I read on this thread. Either way you slice it, it's going to be less options for timeshare owners in the Aventuras program to be able to reserve in these weeks, because it's now going to be more hotel stuff and less timeshare stuff. But the big thing is it's now going to be all inclusive. So really, the main question is the exchange options, or the Aventuras options. If you reserve it, is all inclusive optional. But if the resort is all inclusive, how are you going to eat? How are you going to drink? Do you have to pay cash? Do generally when you have an all inclusive resort, they're not taking cash. They don't have credit card receipts. They're not taking credit cards. It's a cashless resort. You just drink and everything's free. It's part of your all inclusive package. So really, really going to be interesting to see how this plays out, and see how any owners who are trading into this timeshare, now that trading into this resort on the timeshare side, when it's now become an all-inclusive hotel, that could really be kind of a downer. Maybe things will be twice as expensive, or you get charged some sort of service fee, or maybe you have to go off site to eat. You won't be able to access any of the restaurants if you didn't pay the all-inclusive fee. That would be a real bummer for some timeshare owners. So just something to watch. No alarm bells ringing at this point, but it was news. This is a very popular resort. People love to stay there. It's obviously a beautiful resort to stay at, so no complaints about that. But whenever you have a resort that is being converted to all inclusive, usually means it's all inclusive mandatory when they mention something like that. But to have the timeshare side stay is all inclusive optional, I'm just not sure how that's going to play out for timeshare owners. I think that will be a kind of a sticky situation, and I think at the end of the day, it's less options for those particular owners when they trade into that resort. Probably not going to have the same experience they had in the past when they stayed there and they could eat at the on-site restaurant, or at the swim up bar, at the pool, or all of the other options that are available at that resort, that will now likely become part of the all-inclusive package, and as such, not likely take cash or credit cards when you go down to try and eat. So we'll keep an eye on this, see how it goes. I'm curious for the first person who actually books this at one of the 20 or 40 units that are there as a timeshare, and stays there, and see how they handle it. Who knows? Maybe it'll be business as usual, and they're happily, you'll have an armband or something that you could bill everything to your room. So you'd still cashless, but you can now just charge everything to your room, and you're just paying rack rate, or whatever the cash price will be versus the all inclusive price. That would be my guess if I was going to have to take a guess on how that's going to play out. But we'll see how it goes. People, I'm sure we'll see a review later on this year of someone who stayed there that will explain what happened to them as a timeshare owner in staying at this newly converted, newly sold all-inclusive timeshare Western Resort and Spa in Cancun. Going on to the fourth one, where it's going to be a short night tonight. We are talking about these and share this tab. This is actually a super cool one. The interval travel demand index table had not been released for 2026, so people were going on the 2024/2025 table. And admittedly, these don't change a whole lot year in and year out, but they do change. And the best part that someone figured out is the information has already been updated. They just didn't update the hyperlinks on the website, which is super, super wild. And so one of our super awesome Tug members, Yopi, came up with a way for you to actually change manually the URL to display the 2025-2026 travel demand index. So the data is there, the charts are there. They just didn't update the URLs on the Interval website, which is, I don't know if it's an oversight. I don't know if it's a mistake. I don't know if it's an error. I don't know if they didn't realize that the data on the back end has been changed and they just haven't, gone through and manually updated the URLs. I really don't know. But the fact of the matter is that a very, very intelligent and creative Tug member came up with a solution that provides, it's a clunky solution, but it is a solution. You can do it for each one of the, each one of the charts that you want to look at by just changing a simple few numbers to reflect, 2024-25 to 2025-26 and get the travel demand index for the location that you're looking to visit. So awesome workaround. Kudos to Yupi for coming up with that solution, and all of the people that have taken advantage of that. Who knows how long it'll take for Interval International to, I don't even call it an error. Maybe they just haven't gotten around to updating yet. It is only 30 33 days, 34 days into the year for them to do that. And who knows when the data got changed? I don't know when they uploaded that. It might have just happened recently, but as it is now, you have a workaround for those. Again, I don't think the data is a mind-blowingly different change from 2024-25 to 2025-26. But hey, if the data is already there, it's a matter of just changing the links that we now have to do manually and type it into the search bar or your browser. Just do it. I mean, no one cares about the old data except, although I guess you could say, if you wanted to spin it in that regard, now you can do comparisons. You can see exactly what changed between 2025 and 2026 by just changing the address in your web browser and looking at the difference. So again, super kudos to UP for coming up with this solution to allow people early access. We'll call it early, super special secret squirrel tug access to the 2025-2026 Interval International Travel Demand Index charts. These are super helpful in determining which seasons, which weeks are going to be the highest demand or going to cost you the most trying to exchange, or a lot of people use it reverse to see which ones are going to rent for the highest amount of money by based on how many rooms are available at that resort versus the demand at that particular resort. And so these charts are helpful for a variety of things depending on what you were trying to accomplish in your timeshare life. And with that said, that covers all four. I did want to say one thing. We did hit 5,000 subscribers on Tug. That was a while back, but I just have to say is once we hit that 5,000, the increase has been astronomical. I've been super impressed at the number of weekly subscribers to our YouTube channel. I don't know if it's contributed to my super awesome facial the weekly live streams that we're given that people just can't get enough of. Or the clips that I cut these up to publish them and publish them all across our Facebook pages and social media in 30-second to 1 minute bites to cover most of these topics. Whatever it is, we have seen an explosion on the YouTube side. Well, I call it an explosion. I'm not looking at millions of followers here, but as far as I'm concerned, when I started this, 5,000 subscribers was wild to me. Oh, it was absolutely that would be like the just if I was shooting for the moon. I think I thought maybe get 1,000 subscribers, that would be golden. But to get 5,000 and now have a goal of 10,000, especially with the amount of increase we have seen in subscribers, just I can't thank you guys enough for putting up with me and commenting and make all the comments, the feedback, both positive and negative, that we get and make these videos better. I don't know how I can make a live stream where I'm not reading from a script. I'm just saying no filter, just saying exactly what's coming out of my brain right here on camera. And so I don't know how to make that any better, but at least the video's a little nicer. And when I go in and edit these, the HD quality, the 1080p versus the lower quality grainy stuff, again, I go back and look at the original videos we did when I didn't know about lighting and I didn't know about HD, 1080 versus the 4K and all of the stuff that just makes the really that you never really understand the quality of a video, just makes it that much better. Like if you go look at a lot of YouTube videos and you see the quality that they provide and something that's just crisp and clear and HD and even 4K and just the super HD and stuff like that, it's a more engaging content. And so when we started and I go back and look at just how grainy and the poor quality, the lack of lighting, and even though using similar cameras, there's always quote unquote HD cameras, but just amazing the journey that we have taken. If I go back and look at some of the original Zoom live streams that we did versus this now streaming to you in full 1080p, and when I cut these up I lose a little bit of the resolution, but it's not that much. But to provide engaging content and to provide informational content that may be mildly entertaining or not, one or the other, the fact that we get so many timeshare owners watching, so many timeshare owners tuning in, so many timeshare owners are learning about the information that we provide is it truly makes all this worthwhile. And I thank each and every one of you who watch any of our videos, who visit any of our social media pages, whoever click the like button, whoever click the subscribe button. Thank you so much for spreading the word of Tug across the internet. Hopefully that your actions will make at least one other owner find Tug and benefit greatly by being able to use their timeshare in a much better fashion, or to exit their timeshare without being scammed, or to sell their timeshare without being scammed, or whatever it happens to be. Anyone who finds Tug is going to benefit from it and going to have a much better experience, whatever their goal is with their timeshare moving forward. And with that said, unless there are any other questions, man, we got man says people still on this late. I'm happy to answer any and all questions. If you happen to want Tug personal assistance, you question about your timeshare, I'm happy to answer it. give a couple minutes to tune in. But with that said, thank you so much for all of you tuned in. I will catch each and every one of you next Tuesday for another rendition of This Week in Timeshares Live, where we will cover the four most interesting topics of this week. And then there are some pretty good ones already. So I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to see each and every one of you on Tuesdays, where we get to chit chat about all of this stuff and just share our opinions and spread the word of spread the information about timeshares across the internet. There's just not enough timeshare content out there because people are still paying full price for timeshares, and people are still getting scammed by timeshare exit companies, timeshare resale companies on a day-to-day basis. And that right there tells me that I have more work to do, that I need to produce more videos, that I need to get more people looking at my face, listening to what I'm saying, and learning about all of the pitfalls that exist in this industry. So that said, doesn't look like anyone has any questions. Our usual customers, usual viewers are old salts and experts, probably know more than me about timeshares in many subjects. So appreciate each and every one of y'all for tuning in, and I will catch everyone next week. Thank you so much for watching. Good night.